This is Paul McGann, and you're listening to the Five-ish Fangirls Podcast.
The tangents and squee continue all the way to episode 93 of the Five-ish Fangirls Podcast. I've always wanted to do this. Help me, Obi-Wan Kenobi. You're my only hope. Welcome, everyone, to this week's episode of the Five-ish Fangirls Podcast. So glad you could join us. Let's start off like we do every week by going around the virtual table and see who's joined us this week.
This is Brittany in Belvedere.
This is Sally from Wisconsin.
And this is Rachel in Indianapolis, Indiana. Hello, everyone.
Hello.
Hello.
Ish this week, but it's a holiday for 4 out of the 5 of us. If you were in the UK, it would be a holiday for you too, Mitch, but you're not, so. It was a bank holiday for them.
Our holiday was last week.
I know. So, we've all been all over the place, some of us. Brittany just worked, but.
Yeah.
It was a holiday for the most of us, so, and Chrissy's out of town with family. Apparently letting bulls, what was that? She posted a picture. It was Jared, her husband, like releasing like bulls onto the farm or something. I'm sure Chrissy will be more than happy to tell us about her adventures in livestock wrangling when she returns. Oh, anyway, I would say we have a lot to talk about, but actually we don't. It's been very slow news-wise. It's been very quiet. Don't know if I should be afraid or not. But anyway, one piece of news this week is starting this fall, a deal that Disney and Netflix apparently signed 3.5 years ago is going to finally kick in, and Netflix will become the exclusive U.S. pay TV home of the latest films from Disney, Marvel, Lucasfilm, and Pixar. So the rights apparently cover Disney movies starting in 2016, which means eventually we will get things like Zootopia, The Jungle Book, Captain America Civil War, Finding Dory, Rogue One, A Star Wars Story. We will not be getting Star Wars The Force Awakens, although you will in Canada. So, thumbs up to you, I guess, Mitch.
Yeah.
Not that it matters, because I already own Star Wars The Force Awakens. Like everyone else, I had to get it as soon as it was available. But for those of you, though, I guess we're holding out, you're going to have to hold out a little longer. So the releases will start rolling out in September, with specific titles and release dates closer to that. And of course, the usual older, I say older, I'm doing air quotes, older releases will continue to go on, and then go off, and then go on, and go off. So, and as we're recording this, it's the 30th of May, so you have like 24-ish hours to watch whatever's on that will be disappearing after May is over. So, which you can find the list for those sorts of things all over the internet. Just put Netflix, on and off dates, or I don't know what the proper terminology is. Streaming dates? I don't know. Something like that. Yeah. Anyway, so Disney exclusive on Netflix. We don't get Doctor Who, but we do get Disney, so thumbs up there, I guess. Yay. And that's actually it for news, so I don't know housekeeping-wise. I know Brittany's decided on next month's photo challenge. Although I don't think it's up yet.
Oh, I'm actually working on that.
That's okay. You got a day.
I do
And
have a day.
just a reminder for the Traveling the Vortex book club that June's book will be Royal Blood.
Okay.
And then there will be a poll up for the following month's book when we get to mid-June.
Stay tuned for our Facebook page for updates
Yes.
for both the book club and the photo challenge.
Mhm.
Cool. So, and actually, that's it for since we don't have any more housekeeping. We do have feedback, courtesy of Chrissy, because Chrissy knew that she was not going to make it this week. So we'll let Chrissy's feedback, I guess, help us segue into the topic for this week. So Chrissy writes, "Hey girls, sadly I won't be able to join you for recording this week, but I do have some thoughts about Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. I like that this season finally wrapped up a lot of storylines, some of which had been with the show since the beginning. Things like good old Ship Fitzsimmons finally setting sail. Yes, very much so. Those two need to quit leaving the other one in the room after having a very important conversation. I was worried for Fitz after he left the room, Gemma, with... after he left the room... I don't know if she left out some words there. I think she used...
think she did.
After he
It
left
was
the room from Gemma, probably, while she was planning their big surprise couple's vacation. At least this time they were both okay, more or less. Grant Ward is finally no longer a problem, even if his dead body had to be possessed by an ancient alien to do it. Yes, I said ancient alien. Aliens. And on that note, I was extremely impressed by Brett Dalton's acting ability when he was playing Hive after so long of playing the whiny, insufferable, so very punchable Grant Ward. He did the sinister, suave, world-ending villain so well, and I enjoyed watching his performance. Still sad that we had to lose Lincoln to get rid of Ward, but fandom feels are never easy. No kidding. Okay, the elephant in the room. Daisy's defection, and what the heck is she doing in the 6 months later part at the end? I can understand why she left S.H.I.E.L.D. and Coulson after Lincoln's death, but geez, kids, some perspective on life would be nice. At the same time, this feels like a setup for a brand new S.H.I.E.L.D. story, and after all this time with Inhumans and the Monolith and the Crystals, I'm okay with that. We'll certainly have more Inhumans as we go, but I have a feeling they won't be as much in the front and center as they have been. I could be wrong, of course. That's all I have for this week, at least what I can think of right now. I should be back with you all next time. Chrissy. Thanks, Chrissy, for being here when you're not here. And she brought up a lot of very good points that we shall now get into.
Yes. And we're not talking Star Wars from
Yeah, no.
the opening.
If you
Coulson's
totally
little
didn't get my
fanboy, that
opening,
was
then obviously,
fantastic.
then obviously you did not watch the season finale of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. So. Oh, God love Phil Coulson and his comic relief. So, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Season 3B. Oh, lordy. My blood pressure has finally gotten a chance to lower. It's just this entire season, especially as they were gearing toward this whole fallen agent, like 3-4 episode story arc from somewhat involving Civil War to not really. Just, we had that opener at the beginning of the second half of the season with someone in a S.H.I.E.L.D. uniform up in space, and it explodes. It's like, okay, somebody's going to die. So we've been waiting. At the same time, knowing Civil War is coming, and of course, we never know with, as much as, the people in charge of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., Whedon, plus Kevin Feige, who's in charge of everything Marvel at Disney, and, all the people doing all the MCU films, have been, we like the fact that everything's connected, but we can't necessarily guarantee that there's going to be a lot of influence both ways, because the movies are written years in advance and the TV shows are written months in advance, and we've talked about this several times, the logistics of trying to get everything to match up. But you never know. That's the thing that the Marvel does so well, is blindsiding you with something that you never expected to see coming.
Mm-hmm.
And so knowing that we were having Civil War along with this storyline that eventually would lead to someone being in this exploding ship, just as the season went on, I'm like, my poor blood pressure was just getting higher and higher every week, every Tuesday night. I would go to turn on the TV and I'm like, oh my God, what's going to happen? It's like my babies.
Especially every single time Fitz or Simmons got, put into mortal danger. It's like,
Yeah.
No. Don't touch the precious cinnamon roll couple. They need to stay.
Yeah.
Bubble wrap.
It's like the good ship Fitzsimmons does not need to go all Titanic on us, please.
No.
So, oh, yeah.
No touchy.
Yeah. So then, we've had this whole thing with the push and the pull, and with Malik and doing whatever he's doing with, trying to be the lone head of Hydra. And then we have Hive doing whatever it is that Hive does. Just melt people. And just generally walking around like he looks like he's an extra from the Matrix.
And then Talbot.
Who just, I just want to punch Talbot, really, so much. We had the episode right out, the episode that aired the week, that Tuesday after Civil War comes out. And good or bad, depending on how you want to look at it, there wasn't a lot of fallout from Civil War into Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., unlike Winter Soldier, where just everything hit the fan. With the Adams. One of these days.
A lot of stuff hit the fan in Winter Soldier.
Yes. But there was some serious trickle-down effect into Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. This time, not so much. But, of course, they still brought it up.
Considering exactly what hit the fan in Winter Soldier,
yeah,
there was bound to be trickle down.
Yeah, just a little bit. Just a lot. So, in this case, not so much. I mean, you've got Talbot, there
was mentions of the Sokovia Accords.
Yeah,
that was basically it.
Yeah, in Talbot's, of course, Talbot being military, and him being in the army, being military. The Sokovia Accords were the brainchild of Ross, who's the Secretary of Defense in Civil War, so he's kind of like, the military's boss, being Secretary of Defense. So Talbot answers to Ross in a way. So, it doesn't surprise me that Talbot being Talbot is going to side with the Sokovia Accords and be like, yes, this is something that needs to happen, immediately, and Coulson, you and your crew should be part of this. And I was like yelling at the TV, like, because of everything that was going on, because Coulson was giving Talbot, like, taking him to the base, introducing him to Lincoln, and showing him Lash, and all of this. But then the thing with Daisy happens, and it's just a hot mess, and Talbot's all like, this is what the Accords are for, and I'm like, Talbot, a pile of papers could not prevent this from happening. I'm sorry.
What's a pile of papers going to do against this?
Yeah.
It looks good on paper, but when you have people who can destroy said paper with not even a little hand wave,
yeah,
you're in trouble.
Yeah. It's like, I know I was Team Stark with Civil War, and I still am to a point, but it's stuff like that where I'm like, yeah, no, Captain Rogers was onto something with this, I think. Like, the pile of papers ain't gonna do squats. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, or to paraphrase Nick Fury.
Yeah. Yeah.
Colorful metaphors, here we come.
Yeah. Yeah. And somewhere Nick Fury is just watching his TV going, shaking his head, going, I'll leave y'all for like a year, and this is what happens. Anyway. Again, we had that discussion while discussing Civil War as well. About Nick Fury. So, yeah. I'll admit, I'm not the biggest Lincoln fan as a character. I'm sure he's the nicest guy. You know, the guy that plays Lincoln in real life, he's the nicest guy, but I've never really cared for Lincoln. So when they started the whole fallen agent thing and was teasing who was it that ended up under Hive's mind control, and it looked like it was Lincoln, I wasn't that upset. Then it turned out to be Daisy, and then I was kind of ticked. Actually, I was a lot ticked, but but I understood why they did it that way. But at the same time, it's like, I just kind of wanted to sweep Lincoln under the rug, actually.
Well, and I'm glad it wasn't Coulson that got under his.
Yeah, well, Coulson's not an
just-
inhuman. That's the thing.
Yeah.
Is the possibilities of people who it could have been were very slim because they had explained that Hive can only control other inhumans, even though Coulson has the blood, you know, the same drug
That's
running
what it-
through his
yeah.
veins as Daisy does, but Daisy is an actual inhuman. I think the fact that Coulson lost his hand while catching the Terrigen crystal, I think, proves that Coulson's not an inhuman. Which is probably a good thing. Although Coulson in himself, with each upgrade of the hand, is getting more and more a bad mofo. He's turning like into Inspector Gadget, but better. I
He's
loved.
rocking the cane too.
Yeah.
He's rocking the use of the cane.
Yeah. Well, thankfully, in the 6 months later, he's no longer using the cane, so his leg is finally healed up after, up to that point. But yeah, it's like they keep injuring Coulson, and I'm like, don't hurt him. I love him. Don't hurt my baby. But
We don't need you turning into Les Nessman with the rotating Band-Aid injury, whatever. Yes,
I'm sure
I know I'm
Shield
dating
has
myself,
got
but
really good health. I'm sure Shield's got really good health coverage, but still better not. So,
Yeah,
I'm sure
don't
Coulson has
decide
hit
to
his deductible for the year. So, but I was totally loving when he and May had to take cover from the bomb, and he's got his own version of the Captain America shield built into his hand.
Is it both?
And it looks just like Captain America's shield, except it has the shield logo in the middle instead of a star.
That was cool. That was awesome.
Oh, it's like Coulson's wanted so long. It's like Captain America is his hero, of course. And he's all like, the director of S.H.I.E.L.D. should have a shield. I'm like, yeah, but it doesn't have to look like Steve Rogers' shields.
Yep, Coulson, your inner fanboy is showing.
Yes.
We love you
Just a
for it.
little.
Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
Absolutely nothing wrong with that.
Yeah. So, I do like the fact that they finally got Coulson to a point where even if they haven't said it outright, he seems to be happy with the improvements they've done on his new hand. Probably because Clark Gregg was tired of wearing one glove while filming. I ever meet him and be like, Coulson's hand. They finally make those, those upgrades so that you didn't have to walk around acting like Michael Jackson. Like, I'm sure your one hand was probably getting hot on set wearing one glove the entire time.
Yeah, but when he had the screen and stuff, he was probably had like a green screen glove. Or something.
Yeah, I'm sure, but
that wasn't all the time.
Exactly.
So
and the green screen stuff is a lot thinner material. It's not like he was wearing like a leather glove for the longest time.
True.
So, I love Coulson.
And what about some of those scenes with Mac and Yo-Yo?
Yeah.
You move too slow, my way's faster.
Yeah. Everything Yo-Yo does is faster. That's kind of the point. I hope she sticks around. I know they left Joey kind of floating there. Like, we're not sure exactly where Joey stands with everything. But they did bring Yo-Yo back. Which is good. And I'm so glad they didn't kill her off. I was so scared for her.
Oh, I know, me too.
It's like everyone's head was potentially on the chopping block in that season finale. It's like, and of course, like on I don't remember, Marvel's YouTube channel, ABC's YouTube channel, one of the two, like leading up to the finale was just following these little short, like 10, 15, 20-second videos of like, of who's gonna die, and it was like, rest in peace. Fitz, rest in peace, Simmons, like potentially all the people who could die. I'm like, no. The only person I really wasn't concerned about was Coulson. Although Chauncey was like, they could kill Coulson. I'm like, no, they've already killed Coulson once in this universe. They're not going to do it again.
True, but then again, Joss Whedon brothers we're talking about.
Yeah, I know.
No one is safe.
That is true. Well, yeah, but then also at the same time, Clark Gregg is kind of the center of the show.
True.
It would kind of be like killing off, Arrow.
Mm-hmm.
Stephen Amell, Mm-hmm. Like, you're probably safe. I'm 99.9% sure you're probably safe.
Mm-hmm.
And even if you do die, they'd find a way to bring you back because you're kind of the star.
Mm-hmm.
Coulson's like Captain Picard. You don't kill Captain Picard.
No, you bring him close to death numerous times.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yes. You toy with our emotions, but you don't actually cut the thread.
Right.
Which is good. So
we just have another annoying god to come and wreak havoc.
I don't know if that's going to be the case in the upcoming season. We'll have to wait and see. So, but, yeah. So, and then Fitzsimmons, good old shit Fitzsimmons.
Yay.
I was so happy. The bright spot in all of this. Good old shit Fitzsimmons. They're chugging along. They're so cute together. I know that the one episode where they're going to try and find the one doctor who supposedly could help cure Daisy from Hive's influence, and they're at that club and they're talking about whether they're gonna
Radcliffe.
Yeah, when they're good, Fitz is still very Fitz, but Gemma, I think after everything that she's gone through in the last 3 seasons, between almost dying because of Ward, and then going undercover at Hydra, and then getting sucked in by the monolith and having to survive on that planet, and finding Will, but then losing Will, and then the post-traumatic stress from all of that is Gemma has grown more confident and more secure in who she is and what she wants out of life, and Fitz has gotten a little more secure and mature after everything that he went through as well, with the brain injury of, going into the ocean and then Simmons going missing because of the monolith and all that. I mean, we saw Fitz when he was when he was off doing his, work trying to get all the info on the monolith he can, and goes all James Bond there for part of an episode. But Fitz is still just, he's Fitz. He's quiet, and he's a little bit shy, and a little insecure, and so, they're in this club, and, they're having this discussion about, when are they going to take their relationship to the next level. I'm doing air quotes, but I know everyone knows what I'm talking about, but this is a family-friendly podcast.
Just a lope already, you two.
Yeah. So, and of course, them being Fitzsimmons, they decide to put it in scientific terms. Making it a metaphor for crossing the event horizon. But then they go through the whole mess with our lovely Dr. Radcliffe.
What'd you think of the casting on Radcliffe?
I don't know him from anything else, I don't think. At least not off the bat. I know you guys were talking in the chat about the Mummy.
He was the brother-in-law in the Mummy movies. He played the brother to the sister.
Oh. It's been a long time since I've seen any of the Mummy movies, so I wouldn't have recognized him right off the bat. So.
I was like, oh, he looks familiar. He's aged a bit. And I was like, it can't be him. And then I did a search, and lo and behold. Thank you,
check the
IMDb. Yep, it was him.
Let me check the IMDb. So, he's interesting. It's just an interesting character. So, kind of your stereotypical, I've gotten myself into this situation and I'll do whatever it takes to keep me alive, even if I don't agree with it.
And even though I bit off more than I can chew, I'm going to still try to work my way out of it.
Because it'll keep you alive. So, but it was nice when they got him free of Hive, and he's like, "Oh yeah, I'm all yours. Whatever you need, just keep me alive." Sort of thing. Again, keep me alive, but at least he's on the right side there towards the end, and obviously is sticking around at least 6 months, because we saw him in the flash forward. It apparently is going to be the guy that finally brings life model decoys to life in the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
And let's just hope that doesn't come back to bite him big time, or bite us big time.
Yeah. So, it's cool. It's a cool thing, and I know how many people have really wanted life model decoys to appear at some point. They were alluded to in the Avengers when Tony Stark, is avoiding Coulson's phone calls and saying, "You've reached a life model decoy of Tony Stark." So, but other than that, there really hasn't been any other mention of them. So the fact that he's, Dr. Radcliffe has apparently now made one. We'll see. Because, we've seen already what walking and talking artificial intelligence can do, courtesy of Age of Ultron. It doesn't turn out so good.
Exactly.
But at the same time, we have Vision, who he's like Switzerland, really. He's neutral, but he's essentially a good guy. Mostly because I think of Jarvis's influence. So there's precedent for this being a good thing and precedent for this being a very, very bad thing. And it really, I think, just depends on what they decided. The fact that Fitz is working with Radcliffe, in my mind, makes me think that maybe this could potentially be a good thing. Because I know Fitz would never do anything knowingly bad.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. But we don't know what's going on when Fitz leaves the room. What kind of finagling and jiggery-pokery Radcliffe's getting up to, unless there's a rule saying that Radcliffe can't be in there without Fitz.
Right.
Who knows?
So, yeah. We'll have to see. That's the thing, and what they, who exactly is this particular life model decoy going to be a decoy of? Because as far as the comics are concerned, they're always an exact duplicate of someone else. But the voice that we heard, it's female. He calls her Ada. There's nobody we know of that obvious who this potentially may be. So, again, it may just, depend on where they decide to go with this. It's a big potential Pandora's box that they've opened up, but it's exciting.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. It is exciting, and I know a lot of people are very, very excited. The people that are really into the comics and have just been anxiously waiting for life model decoys to appear. It's been a long time since the Avengers. You dropped that Easter egg. We've been waiting for someone to pick it up and hatch it. And now it's here. You just have to wait till, August or September to see what happens next. So, but for now, apparently Radcliffe is to stick around, and Fitz is working with him, and maybe Simmons is working there too. And where exactly they're working? Is it a branch of S.H.I.E.L.D.? Is it Radcliffe's own company, and just Fitz is working there as a contractor? Fitz is supposedly planning a surprise for Simmons at some point. What's that going to be? So they can S.H.I.E.L.D. and their end of season cliffhangers. Oof. No. But so there's Fitz and Simmons where we left them. They're fine, which is good. It looked like Fitz may have been the one to go kablooey, but thankfully he wasn't. So it was one big game of hot potato with Yo-Yo's necklace and that jacket. It's ugh. Which they warned us. I read an article and they were like, it's going to be a game of hot potato. You're not going to know until they actually take off who it's going to be. So there was a lot of every time someone picked up Yo-Yo's necklace, no.
I both love and hate when they do stuff like that.
Oh yes, very much so. Oh. What was it you said, Brittany, in our chat? It's like you don't normally drink.
Oh yeah. What do I want to do? It's
your fandom's fault.
Exactly.
Yeah, something I'm paraphrasing, but it's essentially what you said. Oh, yeah. So Fitz, Simmons, Coulson. We'll get to Coulson here in a second. The other Inhumans or the Secret Warriors, like Yo-Yo and Joey, I'm not entirely sure where they are. They didn't really say much in the...
Yeah, I got really scared for Yo-Yo when Mac tried to give the necklace back.
Yeah.
And then she was like, no, it's...
Yeah.
And then she didn't take it, like...
But then Mac has it, so you're like, no, not Mac!
Mac has it, so it's like... I mean, it's a relief that it's not Yo-Yo, but then
yeah,
it might be Mac.
Yeah.
That's not much better.
Yeah, It's like, no, don't kill off Mac. We are like, especially since like, don't kill off Mac. It's like, I love Mac because again, he's also a source of comic relief sometimes, and he finally got his shotgun axe.
That was so awesome.
In fact, he got it twice. He had a makeshift one earlier in this part of the season when he's trying to save his brother. But it was one he cobbled together. But then here in the finale, he finally got like a well-made shotgun axe. He's like, I got this. He's like, I'm ready to use this baby. I'm like, go Mac, shotgun axe. Oh. And then let's see. So Lincoln. I guess we should go ahead and face the exploding elephant in the room, I guess. Lincoln and Hive. So that's the thing is, I would Chauncey can attest to this too, because all the commercials, leading up to the season finale are like, who's gonna die? Who's gonna be the agent who dies in the finale? And I'm like, Hive is gonna die. No one else. Hive is going to die, which he did. Thank goodness. Noah friends.
When that fallen warrior came up, I was just like, okay, there's so many connotations that I was kind of thinking, well, it might be Ward, it might be Hive, because you've got the double. He was the S.H.I.E.L.D. agent, and he fell from grace.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. It's like, he can die. He was a S.H.I.E.L.D. agent, so therefore he could be a fallen agent.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And then he's working for Hydra, so in a way he was a Hydra agent, so it still kind of works. So, and I got my wish, which I guess is a good thing. So Hive is gone. Chauncey questioned it though. He's like, is he really dead? I'm like, yes, even Hive said, as he and Lincoln were waiting for the bomb to explode, he's like, he said to Lincoln, like, you and I are going to finally experience the one thing I've never been able to experience, death. So even Hive knew he was going to die. So as immortal as he may have seemed, a nuclear bomb is kind of high up there in the not likely to survive category.
Mm-hmm. The Achilles heel.
Yeah, the Achilles heel for
Yes.
Hive.
There's not many who come back from that.
Yeah. So that and the writers and the people in charge have said that they have enjoyed working with Brett. Brett was one of the first people to ever get hired and be on set for Agents of once Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. started, and they're sad to see him go. So yeah, it seems pretty final as far as Brett Dalton's career on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. goes, which I like Brett, but that the whole Ward / Hive thing needed to end. I think they can't keep him coming back. I know a lot of people are still, there's those of us over here that are all good shit Fitzsimmons. There's still a lot of people that are, the Daisy Sky Ward shippers and really did not want him to go. It's like, just let it go, people. I'm sorry. It's gonna be like Elsa and just let it go. Move on. So, but in the process of us finally getting rid of Hive, someone had to go. Apparently, it wouldn't, because they explained it well. That's a nice thing. It's like, why couldn't they just shove Hive in the thing and send him into space? It's like, that's because someone needed to be able to make the Quinjet take off and then be able to disable the controls so that Hive could not fly it back, because Hive has all of Ward's memories and would therefore know how to fly the Quinjet. And who can disable electronics? The guy that shoots electricity out of his hands. So it meant, getting rid of Lincoln. Although earlier in that episode, Lincoln, when they were talking, Coulson essentially offered Lincoln a permanent place at S.H.I.E.L.D. and Lincoln was like, no, I don't want to. I don't belong here. So Lincoln didn't want to stay anyway, which makes it a little easier, I guess. And like I said, I was not a huge fan of Lincoln. So once they finally revealed that it was him, I'm like, I'm okay with that. Sorry. If there are any Lincoln fans out there, I'm sorry, but I was not a huge fan. Sorry. So that, and it made keep Daisy from doing something incredibly stupid. Again, her and Emma Swan would get along famously in the, it is my responsibility to keep everyone I love safe, even if it means killing myself and making myself very unhappy in the process. Psyche. And I'm kind of annoyed by it. To be honest with you. And I don't know if it's just because I see the parallels between Emma in Once Upon a Time and Daisy, and it's just I crave variety or what. I don't know what it is, but it's just ABC, can you not copy each other, I guess, with my 2 TV shows that I watch on your network. So, although unlike Emma, flash, with the, well, we didn't get a flash forward with Once Upon a Time, but in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. with our flash forward, that Daisy is trying to, I guess, atone for her mistakes and not necessarily in a uber self-sacrificing, make myself miserable kind of way. I guess, does that make sense? Or am I just talking nonsense? Or both?
No, it makes sense.
Okay.
Yeah.
It makes sense in my head, but that's my head.
No, it makes sense. It makes sense.
Okay, good. So, I mean, I don't blame, and Chrissy said the same thing. It's like, I don't blame Daisy for taking off, really. 6 months is kind of, well, we don't know how long she's been gone. That's the thing. Is we could assume she took off right after, Lincoln died. Or she could have stuck around and tried to move on and just realized that she couldn't, and then took off some point within that 6 months. Which we just don't know at this point. It's dang flash forwards. Like, I understand why they do them, but at the same time, it's like, oh, especially with season finales. Leave
So
us
do you
with...
think we're going to see those 6 months?
Oh, I think we will, because I mean that's essentially what we saw with this half of the season. Is when this half of the season started. It started with the shot of the Quinjet exploding, and it said 3 months from now or something like that, and then picked up 3 months prior to that. So I think we will. I think it'll be, a combination of filling in the gap of that 6 months and then also moving forward. Because I'm presuming, Radcliffe's creation of a life model decoy is probably going to play a major part in the next season. So they can't be flashing back too much because we got to keep the story moving forward with this new stuff going on. So,
Yeah.
But I don't blame, like I said, I don't blame Daisy for leaving. Like a couple of you guys said, it kind of brings it full circle from where we first met her in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., where she was on her own. I mean, she was working with the Rising Tide. Now she seems to be working by herself. Now she officially has her proper comic book name, Quake, which is exciting. Even if it is in newspaper clippings, but they are referring to her as her name from the comics, her superhero name. But she seems to be working on her own, hopefully helping other Inhumans, just without S.H.I.E.L.D.'s help. She did end up helping. Oh Lord, I can't remember the guy's name. The guy that made her see the vision of the Quinjet exploding in the first place, but his wife and daughter. I remember the daughter's name, Robin, like the bird. Helping little Robin and her mom out. Nice little nod to Cal there as well. Wherever they were, it was near where Cal's veterinary offices, I think. Whose money she's spending to help these people, I don't know. Is she, is it money that she had? Is it money that she's stealing from, criminals or what? I don't know. I've read several fan fiction theories, but of course, they're all theories at this point. At the very least, she seems to be trying to go a little Robin Hood-esque. Obviously is no longer working with S.H.I.E.L.D., although S.H.I.E.L.D. is keeping tabs on her, but doesn't want to talk to them as much as Coulson, I think, wants to talk to her. And in the meantime, she's also seemed to become more fine-tuned and a bit more, has a bit more finesse, I guess, with her powers now. That's much more controlled. Being able to lean down and create controlled vibrations and be able to, launch herself, almost as to be able to launch and get to the top of a building and, get herself out of a dead end.
Yeah, that kind of precision blast is really cool.
Yeah, it is. It kind of reminds me of Jessica Jones, although Jessica Jones, she can just jump and has minimal flying abilities. It's more like, I think it's more like
really high jumps.
Yeah, it's like really high jumps and falling with style, like quote Toy Story. So she's been working on fine-tuning her powers and using them based on the newspaper clippings and stuff that we saw where Coulson and Mac were sneaking out. Excuse me. So, and then we see Coulson spot her and take after her, but of course she does the controlled launch and disappears. I don't think that S.H.I.E.L.D. is going after her necessarily to apprehend her. I know with the newspaper clippings it made it look like maybe she was sort of a semi-vigilante and maybe potentially dangerous. I don't think she necessarily is, and I don't think that's why they're chasing her. I think probably the fact that it's been 6 months, if she left, not long after Lincoln died, and has been essentially on the run or been away from S.H.I.E.L.D. ever since, that I don't know if they necessarily are. I know some people question whether they're trying to arrest her or whatever. I don't think that they are. I think it's more Coulson, and the fact that it's Coulson going after her with Mac. Mac was her partner and felt really guilty that he didn't realize that Daisy had been swayed and was now under Hive's control. So Mac felt really responsible for that. We know Coulson feels a lot of responsibility for Daisy and her well-being. He's essentially referred to her as a daughter he never had. So the fact that those two guys are the ones staking out and trying to find her makes me think that they're not trying to apprehend her because she's, an enemy or potentially dangerous. I think that they just want to get to her and try to talk some sense into her and hopefully get her some help too. Because Daisy was not in a really good place at the end of the season, even before Lincoln died. They got her free. Well, Lash got her free from Hive's control, and it cost him his life in the process. I thought maybe that's the way they were going to go, though. The fact that Lash was kind of always there in the background, I was like, I think Lash is going to play into this. His power is important, and it did end up being that he was able to not only remove Hive's control from Daisy's brain, but make her immune to it, which is very important, was good. So it kind of sucks that Lash is now dead, but I don't see how much more they could have done with him beyond that, though, because Lash was kind of uncontrollable. And I know May wanted to be the one to kill him at one point, but I think she backed off that idea, and she looked genuinely upset when Lash was killed. So poor May. It's like all these people that going through all this stuff, and then there's May. May is like the rock in the center of the swirly sea that is, Team Coulson and S.H.I.E.L.D. And, it seemed like she was, she left and she reconnected with Andrew and was able to reconnect with her parents and all this other stuff. But, May's had a rough go of it. And I don't think she gets as much credit for what all she's gone through and how strong she's been through all of this. So I hope maybe going forward that I know we got that, the whole backstory of Bahrain and the cavalry and all that. So it was good to have a good Melinda-centric episode, but it would be nice to see going forward, get to see May get some more, I don't know, warm fuzzies.
Mm-hmm.
Send some warm fuzzies to Agent May. So, yeah. I think May's the new director. Who do you think? Who do you think is a new director?
I go with May. That. May sounds good.
Mm-hmm. I think it makes the most sense. I've seen several theories been thrown around about it, because it was kind of a throwaway line when Mac and Coulson, are trying to track Daisy down and she disappears, and Coulson says something about, we got to report to the director, and then they keep going, and the people are like, wait, the director? What? Coulson's not the director? But actually, it's not that unusual, because Coulson made Mac the director at one point, temporarily. When he ran off. So, May would make the most sense. It would need to be someone Coulson would trust to be in charge. And we know Coulson trusts May with his life. That she's one of his best friends, and they go way, way back. I could see May being very reluctant to do it, because she's like, as reluctant as she was to join Coulson's team all the way back at the beginning, and she was perfectly fine pushing papers. Now that she's in it and has become friends and family with these people. You know, does she really want to get stuck behind a desk again? You know, making the calls, but she would do it for Phil. That's the thing. I would, especially knowing that Phil feels responsible for Daisy, and that's why he's probably made May director so that he can be the one to go out there and try to track Daisy down. So it's just what makes the most sense. I don't see anyone else really doing it because no one else is going to have the experience to be the director of S.H.I.E.L.D. Everyone else is too new for anyone else in the team to really do it. Obviously, Fitz is working with, you know, Mr. I'm going to create a life model decoy. And Simmons is potentially as well. That, and they're too young. Mac's already been director, but, you know, obviously it's not Mac, because I don't think he would refer to Mac, you know, in the third person. And Mac really did not want to be director, and since he's been director, he'd be like, no, I don't want to do it again. That and Mac, again, just like Coulson, is going to feel responsible for Daisy's well-being, so they're going to be the two that are out there while someone else is back calling the shots. So I honestly, I think it's May. If it's anyone other than May, I will genuinely be surprised. Mm-hmm. Truly, genuinely be surprised. So, and if I'm wrong, okay. But I don't think I am, to be perfectly honest with you. So, Fitzsimmons, Coulson, May, Mac, Daisy. I think that's everyone, isn't it?
I don't think Fitz or Simmons would go for that role if they're too happy in the lab.
Yeah. Their best strengths are with the microscope and the test tubes. So not being in charge of S.H.I.E.L.D. So the other question is here going forward, is S.H.I.E.L.D. still working with Talbot?
Ooh,
are we going to see Talbot again? Because they kind of, I mean, when they left it with, because the base had been taken over by, I don't know what to call. I mean, they're Inhumans, but they're not. The whole bit with them trying to
S.H.I.E.L.D. agents.
Yeah, the whole thing with it, with the manufactured Inhumans, and the base being taken over, and the lights going out, and Simmons figuring out that they can't see well if it's too hot because they rely on body heat, was kind of out of like a horror film. It was like something out of like The Living Dead or something, like a zombie film. But, where we left Talbot and his crew were essentially storming the castle to get taking care of those, while Coulson and the crew took off to try and stop Hive from detonating that nuclear warhead that had been taken earlier in the season.
And I had to chuckle with Talbot and Fitz trying to get the codes to...
Yeah.
That was just
the whole bit with
the most unlikeliest of team-ups, and it worked brilliantly.
Yeah. And Fitz making the faces, making sure that the CG version worked well.
So Fitz.
Yes. Then Talbot's all like, he's taller than that, and Fitz has to get like a phone book to stand on.
Stand up. Yeah.
It worked though.
Yeah.
So.
That was really like how they did that.
Yeah.
I was like, and then when it shut down with like a few seconds ago, I was like,
Yeah.
Oh, thank heavens.
they did.
Mm-hmm.
Well, then they captured Hive too, like Hive and Shield Carbonite.
Mm-hmm.
Not quite
Which
Han
didn't
Solo
last
Carbonite,
long,
but yeah. I think maybe the writers were all like, Disney owns Lucas now. We can make Star Wars references. So they're like, okay, capture Hive, put him in essentially Shield's version of Carbonite, have Coulson make an Obi-Wan Kenobi reference. It's like, we can do this now. We own these bits. We're all owned by the same company. We can do that.
And all we need is the cantina scene, and we're all set.
Yeah. Yeah, I think the nightclub that Fitzsimmons were at not quite qualify. So yes, we need a cantina scene. So it cracked me up though, and it didn't occur to me with the whole bit when Coulson is talking to Hive that they were going to do the whole hologram thing that what's his face had did, episodes ago. But man, that cracked me up. When Hive realizes it's a hologram, and Coulson's like, because Hive, when Coulson first shows up, and he's like, you're gonna die being here, and he's like, yeah, I know, and then Coulson's all like, I said, I know I was gonna die. Doesn't mean I want to. He's like, he's like.
I've always wanted to do
He's
this.
like, I've always wanted to do this. Help me, Obi-Wan Kenobi. You're my only. Oh, Phil. Such a
And I'm
fanboy.
still waiting for the fan art.
Yeah. I'm sure it's out there. You just got to go looking for it.
Yeah,
Coulson, Princess Leia. Princess Coulson.
Mm-hmm.
Princess Leia Coulson. Princess Coulson Organa.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure it exists. I'm sure it does. Oh my. Oh. Yeah. That's where we're at. Really.
Mm-hmm.
All things considering, it wasn't that bad.
I thought it was going to be.
Yeah, as much as I had myself, in a complete coronary, just so sure that everything was just going to come crashing down all around us, which actually kind of did, thanks to Daisy.
Mm-hmm.
I don't call her Quake for nothing. Or Tremors, depending on who you ask. But yeah, it's just it's as far as Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. goes, in season endings, it's not that oh my god, I have to wait till fall before. I was thinking back to that too. It's like, a week or so, or a couple weeks before the finale, I'm like, where have they left us before? Season 1, Coulson carving into the wall. Season 2, Gemma getting sucked into the monolith. This is kind of in between that. So, it's not as bad as Gemma getting sucked up into the monolith, but it's not as, I wonder what that is going on there, Coulson carving into the wall type season finale. This is kind of, ooh, wait, what? much less explicitives were said with the finale, but still, yeah, just they know how to keep us coming back for more. I will I will give you that. So it'll be interesting to see what happens. It'll be interesting to see what, if any, connections we get to Doctor Strange. Because Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. will come back for season 4, later this year, and then we get Doctor Strange in November. I'm not counting on a whole lot. I imagine it's probably going to be similar to probably Guardians of the Galaxy, where we just got no connection whatsoever, really. But then we have what comes out next year and when? I know what comes out next year. What movies do we have next year that... I don't know if we have anything... you would think I'd have the Marvel movie schedule memorized by now, but I don't. I don't think we really have anything that'll be the second half. I mean, Guardians of the Galaxy 2 will come out.
When's the next Thor movie?
Thor does not come out till late July, so we won't see anything there. At least not movie to TV. We could potentially TV to movie.
Because Guardians of the Galaxy doesn't come out until May of 2017.
Yeah. So that'd be towards the end of season 4.
Right, and Ragnarok would be November 3rd.
Yeah. I mean, we could potentially see some crossover maybe with Guardians too, just because this time around we know that at least some of Guardians of the Galaxy 2 is going to take place on Earth. So there is the potential there. And Doctor Strange, he has been mentioned by name on the show. It was all the way back in season 1. But Simmons did name drop Stephen Strange. So there's potential there, maybe? Who knows? I'm always hopelessly and probably stupidly optimistic when it comes to the MCU crossover, just because I desperately want to have, more influence in both of those channels. But the logical part of me knows that Kevin Feige is right, and timing wise it just doesn't necessarily work. Now whatever happens in Thor could potentially, because it doesn't come out till late July, depending on where they are with filming, assuming Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. gets renewed for season 5, we could see some crossover there because it takes place before season 5 would start. Not long before, but potentially. Really, I just want them to throw Coulson into one of these movies and just, have the people go, wait, I thought he died, and then people, you'd be like, go watch the show, and all of a sudden all these new people are watching the show.
The comic. Yeah, really good for a dead man.
Yeah, it's like, if you want Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. to stay on the air, you need to get people to watch it. What's the best way to get people to get it on people's radar than throw the dead guy in one of the movies? And not give any real explanation. And then people go clamoring, going, wait, how, what, who? Like, just come over here. It's on Netflix. Watch it. And then make sure you watch it when it comes back on TV. I mean, it's perfect. But does anyone listen to me? No. Even Clark Gregg has said he's willing to, when they were doing all the Agents or the Marvel stuff on Jimmy Kimmel, and Jimmy is like, for Civil War, he's like, did you film anything for Civil War? And Clark's like, no, but I can go do something real quick. So this little post-credit scene or something. Hey, it works. It It could work.
I still cannot wait for a Coulson Stark.
It needs to happen.
Face to face again.
It
just
needs to happen. Make it. It's like Tim Gunn. Make it work.
Mm-hmm.
We'll go all Project One Way on y'all and just go make it work.
Mm-hmm.
It needs to happen. And you would get so many people that'd be like, oh my God, what am I missing out on? How was he alive? Boom!
Mm-hmm.
Ratings shoot way up. Win-win.
Mm-hmm.
Dear Kevin Feige, I'm writing you today because I thought of an explanation.
And toss in Luis and make it even better.
Yeah.
Hey, Mr. Stink, Stark, some guy's here to see ya.
we just need to have, like, you know, Tony at, like, either at Star Tower or whatever, like, tinkering in his little thing, and
With Dummy.
Yeah, with Dummy, and, you know, Friday is all like, sir, you know, you have a visitor, and here comes Phil, and he's like, Tony, you know, or Mr. Stark, we need to talk, and Tony's just, you know, and like immediately gets on the phone and goes, Hill, because, you know, Maria Hill would have to, you know, would be the one to bring in, because she knows that she's working for Stark Industries.
Yeah, or Stark faints and then Dummy.
Yeah.
Fire extinguisher.
Yeah. That'd be perfect.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what it would do as far as the plot line for any of the movies, but it would something.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe Phil needs to come talk to Tony about the Sokovia Accords and tell him how stupid he is for supporting them or something.
Or,
like, you know how much work you're creating for me?
Well, we haven't seen Pepper for a while. Maybe Coulson wants to recruit Pepper.
Maybe.
There we go.
Yeah. Or he needs to borrow Hill for something. I don't know. Dear Kevin Feige.
We have options for you.
Yeah, we've brainstormed it. Here are some options. Please, make it work. We fangirls can dream, can't we?
Mm-hmm.
We fangirls can dream. Anyway. Anything else? I know it's kind of a... It's not quite as... Oh my God! Unlike the end of last season, you know, with Gemma. That cliffhanger with Gemma. This time last year, we're all like, oh! This year, we're all like... Yeah, it's like, oh, and the ones we really care about are alive. Not necessarily safe, but they're alive. They're doing their job-ish.
We can do a dance of joy.
Yeah. And good old shit Fitzsimmons. Sailing right along. Hopefully they got their vacation. Hopefully they got their vacation. All right. Well, dear listener, I'm sure we have more than one. Dear listeners, if you would like to join in on this conversation or anything else we've discussed recently, or even all the way back to the beginning, we don't care. If you want to bring up something from episode 3, go right on ahead. We will be more than happy. You can get a hold of us. Easiest way is through our blog, which is the Five-ish Fangirls Podcast. .blogspot.com. There you will find email, contact information, links to our Facebook and Twitter and Instagram and iTunes. Please, if you find yourself so inclined to rate, and leave us a review on iTunes, also on Google Play. We are now on Google Play as well, so if you're a non-Apple user and you use Google for your all your app and other needs, we are on Google Play through their new podcast hub. And I believe you can rate and leave reviews on there as well. So if that is more your speed, there you go. Link on the blog. Also, our Goodreads, our Traveling the Vortex book club. There's the link to that. You will find all the chats for the chat threads for the books we have read, and also whatever book we're reading that particular month. And once once the poll goes up for the next month, you can vote on that. That usually goes up around mid-month. In case unless we have a tie, in that case, the tiebreaker is done by coin flip, and then you have to wait. Because that's the way it works. So there is that. And also you will find the link to our Patreon page. If you find yourself so inclined with an extra $1 or $2 that you'd like to toss our direction, we will not say no. But do not feel like you need to. We will keep continuing the show, whether you throw money at us or not. But every dollar does help. It helps to make the show move a little smoother, and hopefully down the road maybe some upgrades to some things. So with Patreon you can do you can either do monthly donations if you so wish. You can set up automatic payments in as little as $1 a month, or you can do a one-time donation. Either or, you can do either. But we can't thank our supporters, monetary and otherwise, enough for listening and downloading the show, and just generally squeeing and ranting and tangenting with us all over the interwebs. Like I said, you'll find our link to Facebook. Come play with us on Facebook. We post all sorts of things that have no reason to be talked about on the podcast. We just share them on Facebook. Memes, viral videos, pretty much everything that Robert Downey Jr. shares on his Facebook page. Because a man is a troll. But we love him anyways. Among other celebrities of various fandoms who also use the social medias. So there's that. Coming up on the schedule, we're kind of making it up as we go along. So we will be tentatively right now, for all the, speaking of the Whedons, we were discussing the Whedon-verse next week. So, and that is, this is probably a little bit Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., but not so much. But, I mean, technically, we're not just doing Joss. His brother is almost as bad, as we've mentioned, because we're talking Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. There is a Whedon in charge of this show. But we will be talking the Whedonverse as a whole next week, unless something drastically changes. And then beyond that, we will be taking a week off because I've got family stuff in the way, and then after I will have my review of that in a little under 3 weeks, assuming I still have a voice. I will do my best to not lose my voice by the end of the weekend. And hopefully before PopCon, I will know my schedule a bit more concrete. So I will let you guys know where and when you can find me throughout the convention. And also I will post that stuff on Facebook as well. So either stay tuned to here and or the Facebook for PopCon updates, because it is quickly coming and I am not ready. Not ready at all. Close, but I'm not ready. And then beyond that, all sorts of fun stuff planned. We're getting well into the summer movie season, so I'm sure we'll have movie reviews and all sorts of fun stuff. So don't think because our shows are now in summer hiatus that we are going to go radio silent, because Lord knows we will find something to talk about. We have no shortage of things to talk about. Whether y'all like it or not. No, just kidding. So, alrighty. Well, with that, I think we will stop talking, because I keep yawning for some reason unbeknownst to me. I'm awake, I promise. But with that, we will sign off for this week.
Okay. This is Brittany, and Jennifer saying goodnight. This is Alex Wisconsin saying good evening.
Mitch saying goodnight from Kitchener, Ontario.
And this is Rachel in Indianapolis, Indiana. Shotgun Axe.
You have been listening to the Five-ish Fangirls Podcast. Any and all movies, books, games, and other forms of media mentioned are owned and operated by their respective copyright holders. No copyright infringement is intended or implied.